Welcome to Can Angels Fly, Tarot, and more. My name is Nancy, and I'm here to perform another Aquarius rant. This rant is long overdue, and I feel like I'm ready to admit, that I'm really shook. Like I'm ready to admit, that I'm really shook. But before I begin with my Aquarius rant, I thank you for dropping by here to Can Angels Fly, Tarot, and more, and listening to me complain. Please like, share, and if you haven't already, subscribe. If you're ever interested in ordering your own personal reading, you can do so by contacting me by email. My email is canangelsfly1@gmail.com. All the details that you need to order your own personal tarot reading is below this video. I'm back again. I do. I think I'm ready to admit that I'm shook. I am so shook. This is an Aquarius rant. I hadn't planned on doing an Aquarius rant, but I feel it. I feel it in my spirit. It's time. Yeah, it's time. I just did a live stream in which I was sharing my thoughts on decriminalizing drug usage. As usual, when I deliver a live stream, there are a few things that's going to happen, a few disruptions that's going to occur. My little dog going to start to bark, my phone going to ring, and somebody going to be squilling down this main street right near me, and then I'm hear gunshots. I'm shook. I'm tired of it. When I say I'm tired of it, I'm literally tired of it. I'm a longtime Detroiter. I was born in 1970. I've shared here on my channel that when I came up in I think a good period. When I was younger, I remember community being community, that there was unity within the community. I have watched that unity dissolve and give way to greed and selfishness and violence and manipulation, lying, cheating, embezzling. I mean, just all of the negatives that exist, you know. Um, but over the last year or so, it seems to me that things have worsened. It really does. I've often shared here on this channel as well is that on my on Facebook, I have joined this, I don't know what it's called on Facebook, this page, somebody's page, and it's called the Detroit Scanner. And the Detroit Scanner seems to be a person that has access to law enforcement scanners and receives the messages and reports it. Earlier today, before I went live to do the first live stream, they were reporting on that Facebook page that there were two women going up another main road, avenue, shooting at each other. Two women now. Every single day, I'd say, every single day is shooting. Now, I've been in the inner city the majority of my life. And yes, there has been violence, but it has increased. It is totally increased. Every single day is shootings. The other day, it was a shooting on the freeway. It was a shooting on the freeway in which two cars of people were riding down the freeway shooting at each other. The male was killed in the car. The female was transported to the hospital. I'm not sure. They had first reported that she had passed away, but then came back and said she survived the attack. The other person that was in the shootout jumped out of their car, jumped over the median on the freeway, tried to frogger it across the freeway, got hit by a patrol car and killed. I mean, every single day, these are the crazy type of stories that exist throughout the whole day. And most of these victims and criminals are young adults, the majority. Every now and then you hear a story about an older person, but a lot of times these stories that have to do with older people is in conjunction with a younger person, a younger person. I mean, I'm shook. I'm real shook. When I share my story here on YouTube, I talk about how when I was younger, I'm talking about like preteen, my generation still could go sit out on the porch, lay out on the porch all night. We take our radios and TVs outside, different things like that. And then this moment happened in time, which changed everything. And it was the onset of the crack epidemic and all that kind of stuff. And that changed everything. So since that time, I watched everything. I watched society decline and our behavior decline. And I say I'm talking about the people that occupy, or reside in the city of Detroit with me. And have over the course of my life, during the various phases of my life. And now it's worse than ever. I was a part of the generation that it seems to me, based on my observation, that I was a part of the generation, the younger part of it, that first started having a value or valuing tangible things, material goods, valuables over life. But it was nothing like this. It was not. It's like this, but it's far worse. Over the course of my life, I've learned about this generation called the Scorpio Generation. I think Pluto and Scorpio Generation. And that was the generation that came up that probably like my generation and the generation before the kids, and how those children born had some like hideous experiences. And I've talked about this before, but it's to another level now. And I've been trying to ignore it, but I can't. It really got me shook. I'm telling you, I'm having a hard time concentrating. I can't even get here on YouTube and make a decent video anymore. I can't organize my thoughts and deliver a comprehensive message. Can't be professional because I'm ducking and dodging. My nerves bad, phone ringing, dog barking. You know, and again, I'm shook. I've witnessed over the last few years my peers that I thought were of a higher caliber partaking in low level activities that I didn't expect, you know. And I wonder, you know, I'm back to this place at this point in time in my life. I'm wondering who I am. Who am I? In some way, I'm lost about to who I am because I'm biased and I look at myself as righteous, obviously. Righteous, I'm self-righteous. You know, I don't partake in a lot of the thrills and the deals that other people do. That's what I mean by I'm self-righteous. But I don't see no validation for myself. And that bothers me. It has really shaken me. With another thing that's shaken me, it seems like I'm the only person that is having this, that's experiencing this destabilization. Maybe people just don't talk about it. Or maybe people really aren't experiencing, again, the sense of being destabilized. Destabilized by what? By the evil in this world. I mean, it's like evil has been normalized. That's what bothers me. Evil and wrongdoing has been normalized, and not only has it been normalized, it's also it's also rewarded. It's rewarded, and it really upsets me a great deal. A great deal. It's just so much. I don't even want to pretend like I want to know the consciousness or what it is to value material goods over life. I don't even want to know. I really don't. I really don't. But at the same time, I'm just in disbelief. I'm in disbelief. I mean, I really am in disbelief. People can't go anywhere anymore without there being some type of fight or altercation or gunplay. Can't go nowhere. And I'm not the one, I'm not going to pretend like a person can. I was at this point a few years ago that I was like, if I make sure that I hang out in specific locations with a particular pedigree of people, that shouldn't happen. But evils still do occur, even with the we could say more advanced or more upper class or the more reserved tribes too. It's just different. It's different. I mean, I can't do nothing but be raw and real for this Aquarius rant because I really am ready to admit how I'm shook. And I'm trying to stabilize myself emotionally and also physically. But I feel alone. I feel alone. I feel like I'm the only one destabilized by all of this evil in the world. I'm feeling like it's just the community that I live in. And I know it's not. I've lived in many different communities on different economic levels. I've dealt with people in different classes of life. And again, the evils are just different, you know. Low vibrational people are just more prone to open violence that can, or acts that can end in you know, I got to be careful with YouTube at a drop of a dime. Where other classes evils usually are more reserved and can go on and on and on, you know, without a definite end date. It's different. And another thing that is truly concerning me is that people, especially the younger generation, they often can see others' evil or dark side or self-destructive nature or destructive nature. See, I just came from outside myself, watching my back and front. Gotta watch your back and front and the sides, the peripheral. Like I said, I gotta have my head on the swivel all the time. My hair have been fell off somewhere. You know, I mean, it's just the cat out of it's insane what's going on. When I say, let me stop. I gotta go back and talk about when I was around 18. I've shared here on YouTube that I've dealt with depression. The onset of my depression started, I talked about this a little bit, at the moment I first comprehended the evils in this world. It shattered my psyche. You follow me? You'd have probably heard me talk about it. How my psyche shattered, I felt it go through the process, and I have been able to see in the spirit. I think my whole life. I can't think of a time that I haven't been able to see in the spirit. And so I could see my psyche. And it was like a sphere, a glass sphere, blown glass, very, very thin, very, very fragile. And it had all of these little shatters all over it. Thousands and thousands of shadows everywhere, the whole sphere. It was my psyche. And I remember when it happened, I held it in my hand and I looked at it and I was like, oh, I'm wounded. I'm wounded. I shared that the very first instance that occurred in which, again, I literally physically experienced my psyche. I was watching this program, these two programs that used to come on when I was, you know, in my early adulthood, late teens. And it was called The Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. I've talked about how I was watching, came home from school. I was watching The Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. And then, just like any other day, what was different about this moment in time, I've never forgotten. Watching this program, The Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. And then I didn't notice the transition from that program to the next. The next program was about donate a penny a day to an African child. And then they showed this African child who was with malnutrition. You see the ribs, and it was a fly that landed on the baby eyeball. F'd me up. Psyche shattered. That was the first time I saw my psyche shattered. And I said, oh, I'm wounded. I said, I got to deal very delicately with myself. And I have. My whole life, I've dealt with myself very delicately. I have nursed myself to health. I'm talking about my psyche, my emotional state, as well as what? My subconscious along the way, or through my subconscious. Other things that I eventually comprehended was, again, I talked about it as well, how people would YouTube, but murk others for that which they presume they needed for themselves. Again, valuing material goods over life. And these are the kind of scenarios my life guided me to see, to witness, up close and personal, right in front of me. Why I got this delicate psyche that's been shattered, and I know I need to care for it. I have seen greed in action. Again, it's always about somebody, one person, presuming that they need something or they're worthy of something over somebody else, whatever it may be. Material goods, drugs, it don't matter, power, and they will do whatever is necessary and to acquire their desire. I witnessed it up close and personal. People's lives taken. I have seen and I have witnessed. Why am I talking about this? Because I'm missing something. I am missing something. There are, I guess, like love and light people. Love and light. I can't be love and light. Do I have love and light in me? Yes, I do. I am full of love. I consciously am love. I am love. Even after all I've seen, I've witnessed, I've comprehended, I've observed, however you like to label it, I am love. I've seen my peers when I was a kid, being abused by different manners. And the world just keeps going on. It just really keeps going on. I've seen so many things. And why am I talking about these ills that I've witnessed? It is because that hurt me. When I was just coming out of, childhood into adulthood, it wounded me deeply. And now I'm 51. And over the course of my life, I have not met many people that even acknowledge the ills in the world. The only time that I can say that I have met some people that acknowledges the ills and the evils in the world, they are usually people that work for charities. People that care. If you, example, like if a person or a family was to lose all of their worldly possessions to some type of natural disaster or a fire or whatever, it happened. That it's been people that really care and move. I mean, they'll know all the policies, rules, and regulations to the institution that they work for and represent, and they're going to work it out in the people's favor. I've talked about that before, too. And most times, through all of the various social constructs I done dealt with personally in the course of my life, they get rid of them type of people. But there are some people out here, but it's been far and few. And so I'm really concerned. I see you commenting, Kings. I'm gonna read my chat. Anyway, I feel some type of way because today, here all these years later, I see love and light people. But true love and hi James, once again, love and light people is not about ignoring these ills in the world. That's not going to address the issues. In my area, it's people dying every day. And they're not dying of natural causes or old age or not even this old funky vid. No, they are dying because somebody wanted something and felt like they were worthy of it over them. It was by any means necessary. Most of what I'm experiencing have to do for real with people's ego. As a human being, as one of many human beings, we try, people, we try to understand the different aspects or components of ourselves, including the ego. The ego, we kind of figure helps us to maintain our individualism and our identity and our need to survive and to persevere. But it's something also wrong with that ego. Who's really researching it? And I'm sure the powers know exactly what the ego is and what it's capable of. But I mean, what's going on, especially in the inner city? I can't talk about nowhere else. I'm sure some crazy stuff going on in I know in the suburban areas too, because I follow that Detroit scan and a couple other things, and I done visit some suburban areas down through my life, and it's the same thing again, different. Out in the country in the farmland, I don't know too much about. I ain't been out there too much, but I done seen some weird stuff there too in the times that I went. But I'm saying right here, right now, at this moment, I can't give any official status reports on those different areas or regions. I can only talk about here in the inner city. Something is going on. And I personally believe it's the powers have executed some type of witchcraft. And I talk about it from different perspectives. I try to break it down. But they have executed some type of witch power over the people, especially those in the inner city, period. And it's a focus on the younger generation, the young adults. Possible magical tricks through the music induced insanity, economically induced insanity, competitiveness was competitive induced insanity. And the crazy part is, this the part that's what got me shook, is nobody can see it. Nobody sees it. I talk to a lot of young folks. There's something about me. I'm auntie, And if you say something to them, they can't see it. They immediately turn and talk about something else outside themselves, someone else. But they can't see themselves. They can't see they dark. They can't see, not seeing the spirits that's cohabitating inside of them. They don't know they evil. They don't even know, they don't know what's evil. It's something going on. Let me see. They see it on their phones, witchcraft, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's crazy. And can't see it. When I say I'm sick, like I was when I talked about when the crack era, the onset of the crack era, and what I saw, I was sick. I was literally sick to my stomach. I'm so thankful that I didn't get caught up. See, it's something about my personality. I love me. And I tell you, I love me. I love my mama and my family that invested in me, something about me. I'm so happy that have been me, that I am me. And I mean it from the perspective of I had peers that end up getting on drugs, and I talked about it because their parents was on drugs and they wanted to know what the allurement was for their parents to care more about the drugs and that not be able to fight that addiction, to be beating up on the other parent, leaving and not coming back, taking all the money out the house, taking the food out the house, all kind of stuff, or the secrets, the molestation. I mean, everything. I done bumped into so much in my life. I just wonder who I am. I'm not nobody special. That's the crazy. Am I special? Aren't I? Because I done had a lot of experience, and thank goodness, I love me. I love me. I didn't get caught up. Something, when I say I love me, understand what I'm saying? I'm saying whatever created me, it gave me I'm being ungrateful, but it gave me this annoying life. I got the most annoying life. Financially, big rises and deep falls. Love, and then heartbreak. No stability in none of it. But all through the various scenarios of my life, I touched base with so many different scenarios. And I could have been consumed. This is the part where I say I'm thankful for being me. I could have been consumed by any of those scenarios. I could be a dope fiend, or I could be running dope, from from state to state. I could have been either, but it was something about me. The dope, when I seen people on drugs, that's why I don't understand how the world has ignored this up until this point now. I mean, it's really bad now. I'm not loving light. I don't even understand love and lighters. I do, because it's a time and place for love and light and for healing and for positivity. But what it say works without, what do we say? Prayers without works is dead. Love and light without works is dead too. Ignoring it. Talking about all this positive affirmation and think positive and do it. You ain't doing nothing but for yourself. The world is sick. People are sick. People cannot see their demons. And it's back to that ego. I wish I could focus. It's been a long time now. If you've watched my videos, it's been a long time that I've made, again, a comprehensive, logical video when I try to deliver a message. I just haven't been able to, and I've been ignoring it. I keep ignoring it. My psyche is not broke. I'm a much stronger individual than I was. Well, I didn't know what was the real deal when I was younger. That's why I was vulnerable. I know now. What I'm not dealing with well is that the world is ignoring it. That there's nothing we can do about people being sick, both in the physical and the spirit. I'm irritated with what seems like the people cannot regain their power or our power from the powers. I'm irritated with it, irritated with it. The people don't even seem to understand that if by chance we could take the people's power back from the powers, that we would be, humanity would be set back 50 years, easy. It's like, who are we? Who are humans that we cannot see, that we cannot perceive, that we cannot understand nor comprehend? We just live our lives out, however long it may be, and just go off into oblivion. And the next generation comes and suffers from the prior generation's failures, inabilities to emotionally connect with the life at the time that they hear. Something wrong. Something wrong. I'm sure, how can I say, I'm the same way, is what I want to say. I'm the same way. What I mean, I'm the same way. I'm the same way. I can't digest, I can't fully comprehend and digest that it's something that I'm supposed to be actively doing while I'm here in this physical body. Right now, when I talk, and even when I deliver my messages, I feel like I'm doing the most. That's what the young folks say, doing the most. I'm doing too much. But in my heart, in my soul, I know I'm not doing too much or doing the most. As a matter of fact, I ain't doing enough. And also know the rest of humanity is not doing enough. Not to save themselves, not to heal themselves, nor to offer a clean slate for the generations to come. What kind of magic, witchcraft, has been performed on humanity that we can't? The word is comprehend. It vanishes. It's fleeting. This concern for our reality and for our experience in this life is fleeting. It's not real. It's surreal. But yet people are being born, being abused, misused, left, addicted, getting sick, terminal sickness, got HIV, cancer, no cures. Something wrong with that. And people dying. Not dying of old age, but dying of violence, neglect. Everything that is supposed to be right, when I say supposed to be right, I'm talking about that which has been suggested to be deemed right or righteous by religion or what do they call it, natural law, is now wrong. It's unrighteous. It is ignored. It is dismissed. But that which has been taught by religion and again natural laws to be unrighteous, evil, is now right and righteousness, and it is rewarded and it is perpetuated and it is endorsed. Something is wrong. I can't sit here and make a video without there being gunshots. I'm talking about emptying clips out. Now, I'm not per se, at least some years ago, I'm not in a community that, that kind of energy is prevalent. It wasn't prevalent, but now it is. I'm scared to even be in this room anymore. Thought they was getting started again. And again, a lot of this is occurring. A lot of this violence and this battle of wills is taking place with young adults. So I'm talking about people under 35, right? Maybe 10, 9, 35, at least. I mean, yeah, the older generation nuts too, but not on this level. And when I go down to the age of 9 and 10, because I've been hearing about and seeing articles on and news reports on young adults that are fascinated with guns, and they find their parents' guns, they take them out, and just not these kids aren't just messing with the guns, they want to know what it is to fire it. And they are unfortunately taking the lives of their little partners or friends that come to visit, or their little siblings, or even their parents. Something is wrong. Is there anything at all we can do about this? This is insane. This is insane. Let me tell you something that happened to me before I go back to what I've been, witnessing, experiencing, relative to the different age brackets. It was about 2 or 3 summers ago. I was walking down this main avenue. Beautiful day, minding my business. Again, I live on a main avenue, so it's a lot of traffic. People headed downtown to the hangout spot, and everybody trying to find something to do in the summer. And so I'm walking down the street, just kind of in my head. And I saw out my peripheral vision, a car jump over. It might have been like a Charger or something, over to the lane nearest the curb. But I wasn't really thinking about nothing. I think they just want to pull out, and pull in front of the rest of the cars. Everybody beating down the street. I mean, jamming, flying. Summertime, hanging out, wilding out. Don't care about no, what do you call it, effects that they may have, like not being able to stop running people over. No forethought, no forethought, no consciousness, no awareness about anything that could possibly happen from going so fast. Everybody going fast. So this car jumps over to the lane nearest the curb, and all of a sudden I see a hand come out, and I see the pop bottle with orange pop. This person hurtles this bottle of pop at me. I saw it just in the nick of time where it only grazed me. But who does that? Please tell me, who does that? That's the kind of acts that I see every day, all day long. I fret the summer because it's getting worse and worse. Let me see. I'm sorry. I'm just here to vent. Aquarius Rant. I'm feeling some type of way, and I got to get a grip on it. I gotta come to terms with this reality. And we in hell. We are in hell. I tell my daughter to stop watching others and watch herself. Stop watching it. Stop. I told my son that too the other day. I said, stop watching, because when I forgot what me and my son was talking about, and he said something about something. I'm talking to him. He said something about somebody else. Now, mind you, it's already becoming a pet peeve of mine that every time I hear a young person talk, they might be talking about something that happened in social media and how that person was wrong. It was in their dark side. And that's a whole nother thing about this consciousness. And a lot of these young folks, they're not. So when I'm talking to my son and he like redirects what I'm talking about on somebody I don't even know, or something I ain't know, I'm like, hey, hold on. It just like slapped me. I was like, I'm ignoring it still. I'm like, even with my own kids, I'm like, what is that? I was like, why did you bring that up? I'm talking to you about you and where you're going in life and what you're doing. And you bring something totally foreign up. Redirecting, responsibility, or I'm like, and he thought I lost my mind. I did. Temporarily, I did. It's a pet peeve of mine, because no matter where I go, you be ear hustling. You got to ear hustle when you're out. You don't know what's going on. We got folks walking in the stores and churches and schools, letting loose. So your head will got to be on the swivel. So everywhere I go, I'm hearing people openly talk about drug usage. sexual deviancy, and it's the norm now. I should be like, it's the norm now. It's the norm now. It's the norm. It's the norm. The hustle, the grind is the norm now. These younger generations, they ain't been thinking about working for no 30 and 40 years. I mean, something just came to my mind. And it was this program. I think it was Steve Harvey. He played a teacher, and it was or a counselor or a teacher or something. Steve Harvey show or something, and it was this young black guy named Romeo. And it'd be these programs like what happened to them, what's happening with them now, or they review their story of their life. It was some years ago, so I really don't remember it. But I found out that the young man that played the character Romeo, I do believe, was dead. Found out he died due to a love triangulation. And I think one of the love interests stabbed him to death. This is the norm now. It's the norm. Something is wrong. When we talk about love, it's witchcraft. We need to be able to identify and demystify, I guess is the term, the witchcraft that has been done on the people. And I talked about it before a little bit. The different spells or enchantments that have been put on people vary by race. Vary by race. Some of the spells that are put on the people are across the border. But then there are very specific spells for specific demographics of people, even gender. These are all spells and nobody can see them. When I was growing up, you say media is definitely one, but why can't nobody see him? When I was coming up, I saw, maybe it's because I'm an Aquarius, I don't know, because I'm not a really smart person. I've always been very average. In my prime, intellectually, I was average. As far as appearance, I was average. So it was never anything extraordinary about me that I ever identified that prompt me to be aware. And I don't know how to say it because I was actually, I'm an Aquarius, I'm an air sign. So I've always been an airhead too. At the same time, I'm an airhead. I'll be la 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 out there in the cosmos somewhere in my head. But at the right time, at the most appropriate time, I woke up made to pay attention and make fairly good decisions, And so, again, the various scenarios that's played out in my life, as I navigated them, it's like I was there to witness, to see, and not per se to choose to participate. As I talk about how I've always been the outcast, I haven't fit. Socially, people would become, what is this called? Suspicious of me because I would be present but not participating. And then, the gang stalking would start happening, different kinds of things like that. But I just never was. What I'm trying to say, I don't know how it feels. I was saying it earlier. I don't know how it feels to like choose to do something. I don't know what it is to peer pressure. I don't know that. I don't know how to say. I don't know what peer pressure. I mean, I know that it exists. I know what it is. I know what the definition is. I've seen people confronted with it and succumb to it. But myself, anything thus far, peer pressure, me, Nancy, into doing something, and that allurement. I don't know about that allurement. I'm not saying peer pressure didn't come, but it was no hook for that peer pressure to put its hook in me and allure me or bait me in or tantalize me into partaking in some act or activity. That's what I love me. Whatever it is about it, I don't even know what it is. I'm thankful. I'm thankful. The curiosity, like there's a curiosity kill a cat. And I'd heard the devil whisper to try to enhance or to what's the word, maybe to increase my curiosity, to pique my curiosity, and something about me. Like, I'm gonna give you an example. Go back to some of my peers that said that they ended up on drugs because they wondered the temptation. They wonder why their parents wanted to participate in drug usage, and that's when they tried it and got caught up. Even though when the time came that I learned about drugs, knew about drugs. A lot of my peers was on different drugs, different types, name it, whatever was out, doing whatever decade was out. I knew somebody that was on and popping and they partying and hanging out, where other of my peers got caught up, because they was trying to be cool, or they call themselves being in love, or they was just curious, or whatever the means of temptation was, the mode of temptation was. So when it came to those type of modes of temptation, the hook, it never got into me. And I've heard the devil say, even about drugs, don't you want to know what it is that they experiencing? I've heard it. I done had the devil ask me, well, don't you want to, like, I'm going to give you an example when it come to love, relationships. I was in love once and the cheating started. There was competition. I had the devil come tell me, you can have this. It will be in your favor. Only thing you got to do is play the game. You got to indulge. And so I offer you that example what the devil told me, because he's come to me throughout my life to, again, enforce or expand the temptation, to give me a, what do you call it? Oh gosh, can't think the words. Like, give me a little extra boost of confidence to try something, to do something, to partake in something. And at those times, I could feel the overwhelming lust in me, like it would start to just kind of expand. And that's how I know prayer works. That's why I'm trying to share that, because I know prayer works. And I'm not saying I had to get on my hands, knees, and get on my prayer knees. I hear what you're talking about. This is how I will respond. Literally, that's why I'm being crazy. I'm like, hey, devil, I hear what you're talking about. I hear the offer. I say back repeat what he said to me. I say, but I rebuke that, or I deny that, or I decline that. I don't want to know. Keep it to yourself. That's how I talk to the devil whenever he come up on me about in that manner. He hasn't been up on me in that manner in a while. But those were the kind of experiences that I had. And I shared that very intimate, intricate detail about rebuking the devil, so to say, because it was that little detail that many of my peers didn't execute. And they fell over into the temptation, and it changed their lives forever. I mean, forever. I'm thinking now, I'm talking people that I grew up with in my early years. And I've switched. As an Aquarius, I think it's an Aquarius thing, possibly I've switched to many scenes throughout my life. And I say many scenes, I'm talking about those various small social circles. You know, just throughout my life, I've never, like some people grow up, are born and grow up and stay in a community, and other people have the pleasure of traveling the world by the time they life over. Oh, where I live, it's called going. Some people never go across 8 Mile. Those are people that are local and they local natives and they never leave. It didn't matter which circle I was in. It was always the temptation. It was always the temptation. He said, "Let me read this check." He said, "I'm gonna read it. I'm just trying to. I'm wondering what can we do anything about it? What I've been trying for the longest to understand this experience. I want to know why I hear from these various entities. I want to know why. Because it's not what I'm talking about is obviously not as common as I've had allowed myself to come to believe over the last few years since I've been here on YouTube. I see a lot of drama. Yesterday, I was on YouTube just watching videos, and I ended up finding some new space here on YouTube once again. And it was full of drama. They call it, I done heard people talking about YouTube drama or these YouTube streets and drama, and I've never really saw it. I saw some yesterday. I was like, "Are you for real?" I was like, just taken away. I was like, what the hell is really going on here? The drama that I witnessed here on YouTube, the videos that revealed the drama, and they would talk about one person, and I'd go click that person link and watch and hear what they got to say, and then go over there and click it. I was like, these are spirits. These are dark spirits. These people are demonic and don't even know it, even though they got to get online, make a video, and can look at themselves. They can hear their voice played back to them. They're typing messages like trolls and stuff, but you still don't know that you're evil. Something wrong with that. He says people have self-love and self-awareness issues, and the witchcraft, which spiritually turning people off. It's people that it has turned people off. That's exactly like a switch has been turned off inside of humans. Ooh, that's really scary to me. Do you know how dark I've been in a dark place before. When I did the video call, when I talked about Jordan Peele's movie Get Out, and he talked about the sunken place. Well, after I seen that movie, I talked about it in detail. I know that place, and I talked about it. To have it be turned off, the lights in your soul being turned off, your self-awareness and your self-love being turned off. And I remember this. Let me tell you. So I'll tell you a little story. When I was going through a dark night of the soul, I guess I was in my early 20s. I'm still overcoming this shattered psyche that I suffered. That I told you I knew immediately I had to deal with myself very delicately. Anyway, I have been going through the healing process for years. That happened, the shattering my psyche happened when I was about 18. And when this event I'm about to talk about happened, I probably was, I'm getting old, y'all, I'm forgetting dates. I was born 1970, had to be about 1992 or 3 when this event happened. And so, mind you, I'm very aware that my psyche has been shattered. I am actually caring for it on my own. It was when I talk about this, understand this is a spiritual. This is a spiritual process I've gone through over the course of my life. Um, and yes, in real time, I did try to get real physical help. So I can talk about psychiatry and psychiatrists and the ones that I worked with. There's some good ones out there. Out of all them years, I had one good one. One good one. Um, but a lot of them is messed up. A lot of them is really messed up. And so I found that that wasn't the answer. Found that it wasn't the answer. And so I did a lot of, I went to the church and I found out the church wasn't it. I got what I could get from the church. But it was always the inner meditation, the inner reflection. I tell y'all, I talk to myself all the time. It's not just that I'm talking to myself, I'm talking to that which is greater than myself, that has had, again, that has cared about my well being. It's that thing that I told you woke me up when I went to hell and allowed me to see and experience hell so that I could comprehend it and even talk about it. It is that same entity that allowed me at the moment my psyche shattered. Because, see, my psyche could have shattered and I wouldn't have been aware of it. But no, instead, whatever entity truly cares about me took my psyche out of me and placed it in my hands and said, look here and see what has happened to you and understand why it's happened to you. And understand that you have to care for yourself. You have to take care of yourself. Nobody else will. This is the same entity when I told you I was raging angry at my kids, and a double-headed dragon came out my neck and slammed me back. Well, the spirit slammed me back into a chair across the room. Is that which I speak to? I mean, I speak to different entities, when I'm speaking to myself. Hell, I forgot I was talking about. This is an Aquarius Rant because I'm just in, I can't say disbelief. I just want to know, is there a way that we can do something? Or is this, if there's nothing that humanity can do to resolve the evil in this world that has continued to grow, I believe it's growing, whether it's growing due to the growth of the world's population, or if it's growing because morals are dissolving. It's growing. It's growing. I don't think it's the same. I forgot what I was going to say. But praying, going inward, all them years, still today. YouTube is a part of it. My psyche is healed, but I know I'm aware that it exists. I'm aware that it is not only a spiritual aspect of myself, it is also a physical aspect of myself, and it looks like what? A sphere of fine blown glass. And I'm responsible for it, as each of you are responsible for your own. And many people in the world, I'm sure, have had some type of experience that has shattered their psyche, and they don't even know it. And due to that shattered psyche, all that can, trickle into it. And the shards, the fine blown glass that can fall out of it. This is what I think the world is dealing with. And I think the powers, know it. I keep asking, who am I? Do I really, or am I in tune with some of what the powers know? And if so, why? Not being funny, people around here dying left and right. And again, I ain't talking about the vid, whatever it's called, the vid. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about these people don't care. When I say they don't care from every aspect of not understanding, there are, what do you call it? The word. There are penalties. There are what's the term y'all looking for? Not penalties, but when you do something, because you do something, there's going to be effect. There are penalties. There are, oh, I can't think of the word. I'll get it, or somebody will tell me what it is. Like driving fast. When I say people are driving so fast and reckless, and I'm not talking about because I say one or two people doing it. The majority are doing it. The majority are doing it. I just seen on Facebook they want to recall or ban Grand Theft Auto. After all these years, y'all want to do it? Grand Theft Auto. Well, you might as well do it. What's that? Fast, and what's the name of that car where you fast and you couldn't even see the car or the street? It would be like lights going by. What, fast and something with the car. Because, again, witchcraft. Games was fun to, entertaining. That was witchcraft. Now people aren't linking their recklessness with death. And death before resolving karmic issues. The karmic issues to why you here in this physical realm. The death of innocent people. And them not being able to resolve their karmic issues to why they here in this physical realm because of another person's negligence or foolishness. Nobody sees this. Either people are ignoring it or it's love and life. This stuff needs to be addressed. Or I'm just doing too much. It bothers me. So these people flying down the street, I don't care what road I'm on, what street, road, avenue, whatever, flying. Hi. The legalization, the glamorization of marijuana. Oh, you can't tell somebody to smoke marijuana. Hey, you might be overdoing it. It's scary because it's witchcraft, even the marijuana. And excessive use of that particular naturally occurring plant. That THC substance or whatever else in there. It is witchcraft. To use something every day, all day long. And the proof that it is witchcraft is pay attention. You can't say nothing to nobody that smoked marijuana. You can't say nothing to them. You can't say that they doing too much. They're going to have excuse. You can't say that they overusing it. You can't tell them nothing. That's witchcraft. You totally blind to it. You won't even consider it. You don't look at how it has been used historically. You don't look at nothing. I came up in a generation and came into my adulthood. Well, I was in my adulthood when marijuana was glamorized. I saw the transition. Has marijuana always existed? Yeah. Has it always been used? Yeah. But now it's every day, all day long, in high quantities in one unit. Motherfuckers shooting again. Nobody can see that. Not one person. When I say I was smoking, I smoked. But I just remember, I was looking around and everybody, all the different age brackets, smoking. Didn't matter. Real young adults, teens, kids, old people, don't matter. Everybody smoking. They got glaucoma or some fucking issue and smoking. Hi, Camille, smoking. And so I would puff pass, do the session, mini sessions. But I started, again, I'm not a nerd by far. And I've been in many circles again. And what I started noticing, I was like, damn, didn't make it. Everywhere I go, every circle I'm in, everybody's smoking now. That's not the way it was when I was younger, coming up. Everybody's smoking, or they drinking, or both. So imagine a person like myself with my Aquarius nature getting around every social circle I go to. Either I got a puff puff pass or I got a drink. Or both. And then it's those extraordinary visits where they doing a little something extra. You know, sniffing and I ain't participating. But it was every single social circle I went to, no matter what. Whether it was a party, a funeral, a get together, a movie night, a ladies' night, I don't know, name some of the kind of nights we make up to entertain ourselves. I don't care. Or what kind of events. It was a Christmas party, a Thanksgiving party. It became the same thing. Let me tell you, it didn't just happen with the marijuana. It happened with spaghetti and chicken. Spaghetti and chicken. I went to so many functions, so many places. Every time, I started to cuss and act real ghetto. It was spaghetti and chicken. You probably don't know it, but this chick just started back eating chicken after some years. Spaghetti, I still ain't healed yet. Spaghetti and chicken. Like something wrong with all the spaghetti and chicken. Everywhere you go, cheap meal, spaghetti and chicken. After that, it was like the marijuana. Everywhere I go. I said, Lord, because I speak to myself, talk to myself. I said, if I keep smoking this marijuana and drinking in relationship to every single social circle I go to, plus if I'm sitting at home and the guests come, they coming with the pounds. I remember one morning early, first visitor came through the door, set a couple of bricks on the table. Before 11 o'clock in the morning, I was hiding the mother. Oh no. I said, I'm gonna be a drug addict, a pothead, and an alcoholic. Not me. And since that time, just about everybody I know is a pothead, an alcoholic, or some addict, addicted to some substance. Everybody. Something wrong with that. Functional. Some of them very functional. Most of them functional. I was one that couldn't be functional because I was already tripping. Couldn't do it. Like, what the hell? Mm-mm. And it's normalized. I'm going to tell you who made a joke about this kind of thing. It was Cat Williams. He talked about going to some Hollywood party or something, and he was looking in the rooms and the closet. No, he didn't. That wasn't it. He went to talk about a contract or something. He said he's sitting up there negotiating the contract, and the person next thing you know is like, he's like, did they just do that in front of me? That's how normal and normalized like drug usage just gotten. Now, would I have a problem with drug usage if people wasn't killing it over it? Mm-mm. If kids wasn't being starved over it? Mm-mm. You know, those kind of things, I wouldn't have no problem with drug users. I'd be turning up. But the reality is this dependency that we have on these varying substances are causing us and leading us to be negligent and to make bad decisions. Truly it is. Nobody wants to acknowledge that because life is pretty good. But there are people literally out here. Why are all these people shooting up the place? Huh? Something going on in the psyche. Shooting, riding down the freeway, shooting at each other. Walking into different spaces and places, shooting each other. Not being able to contain the expression of their ego. Not to say, let me take this L. Let me go on. Like, you're right. and walk away. Nobody can do that. These people are people overall. A part of what's taking place is being under the influence of a substance. And that substance opens up. Remember, the substance is a battering ram into the spiritual realm. Open them up into these spiritual realms, dealing with all of these entities. And all of these entities do not have our best interests at hand. And some of these entities that people are keeping company with are helping to exaggerate their ego, their sense of self-worth, their power, their influence, their mortality. They think they're immortal. I'm not saying it. And it's causing people to make bad decisions. And I've talked about this before. There are so many people, I at least believe, from my observation, that are currently in prison because they committed some crime that they were edged on by some ethereal being. My head on a swivel, y'all. I'm listening. It sounds like the club, the little place up there is about to throw a party again. So somebody else can act a fool. They was shooting up there again. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. Everywhere. 70 baby. I'm a 70s baby. The good old days. That's great. I record my vocals. It's all about know thyself. It's all about know thyself. I wish I could help people know themselves, but I share what I've experienced. Everything on my channel, I know 100% true. If I tell you, if I don't know it 100%, I ain't experienced, observe it, witness it, I'll say it. But just about everything on my channel, I know up close and personal, and I try to give you all the stories, dates, times, and if you need me to go get some receipts from somewhere, for real receipts, I can. Because I'm not on here playing no games. We are so in trouble. And I think I take all of this so serious because you gotta remember, I be communing with ethereal beings. Entities people don't even hear. I'm nutty, but it's real. It's real, And of course, in my life, I've had opportunity to help people or save people's lives. It's like a testimony. So I wonder who I am. It was like a testimony to them, so they'll know, whoever them may have been over the course of my life, that again, there's a God. I just sum it up and said there's a God, and that God is watching. And I tell y'all on here, I try to be as transparent as possible. That I even have the issue with God. Again, all this, even God is surreal. I've had hardcore physical experiences that I could literally go get some hard copy paper receipts out of this world one way or another as a testament to what a God or some other ethereal being has told me and told me to move on, to do in order to offset something in this world. But yet it's still surreal to me. Still surreal to me. And those are the experiences I've had. So that's why I do pose the question to God and any other entity listening. How are the people in humanity supposed to truly awaken if I know I'd have had these experiences? I'm not crazy. God, make sure you know you ain't crazy because it's in the physical. Through the social constructs and everything, paperwork exists even here for some of the uh, life lessons God teaches. Even though I've had them hardcore, can't be denied, it's still surreal to me. So if it's surreal to me and people like myself, I don't know what nobody else experienced, but so surreal to me, fleeting. The reality of it is fleeting. How then can I truly awaken? With that being said, out of the world's population, it seems like there's a percentage of the population that have not had these type of experiences I've had, nor do they have the physical evidence or receipts to remind them that these divine experiences have occurred to them. They ain't got it. So how then can humanity wake up, truly awaken? I posed the question before on my channel. Is it okay to just let go and live life as it is? Is it okay for me to go out here and indulge in everything that I want to indulge in and reap the benefits, the rewards, and the pleasure of it, and also accept and partake in the penalties associated with it, and then fade on out when my time comes? Is that all right? I could. And I have. Again, I'm not a saint. I have participated in different things. And I know the consciousness of being empty. I know that space of being empty, and it's nothing there. But I guess that's what bothers me, because when I was in these different places, I tell you, I had all of these various experiences in the physical as well as the spirit. There's a consciousness. This is why I talk about this, the consciousness and awareness that one achieves. Consequences. Thank you, Camille. Thank you. I could not think of that term. Fast and Furious. What's that? Well, I wish my daughter was here. It was called, was it called? It might have been called Fast and Furious. It was, oh man, I cannot. The name of that, because it's going to worry me. So I'm going to call and ask. She might still be out though. That game was called, and I mean, it used to go so fast, and they could play the music and, it's something going on, and it just seems like you say that music and entertainment is putting people to sleep. People are not using or gaining knowledge. People choose ignorance over knowledge, it seems, and people can't think for themselves. It's ridiculous to know yourself is to know you're speaking the truth straight up. Oh man, hello, are you home sleep? Oh, I'm sorry. I got one question. Remember that game that y'all used to play with the car that used to drive real fast, and you couldn't even see the car, just be like lights, and y'all would be in the court and drift? That's the first time the term drifting came out, I do believe. You don't remember it? You too sleepy to think of it? You don't? Okay. All right, we're going back to sleep. Bye. Dang, I can't remember the name of that. I don't think it was Fast and Furious or something. I cannot think of it, but the car used to drift. And if you got it just right, the car would just drift. It was a fly game, and I enjoyed it, but it framed the mindset of the youth, the drifting. It's been a video, at least going around on my Facebook page, where a person is doing a donut, or kind of drifting in a donut, and it's this chunky girl, and the car drifts and hits her and knocks her off, and her wig fall off, and I guess she had some coins in her pocket, and somebody puts a, what do you call it, a caption on there talking about, like Sonic the Hedgehog. He really playing Sonic the Hedgehog because he got coins, because all his coins fell out of her pocket. But it's that kind of mentality of they can do, people can do what they want, and there are no consequences. Thank you again, Camilla. I could not think of that word. Consequences. Drifting and driving fast and jumping in and out of lanes, smoking weed and driving, smoking crack and driving. All these things I'd have seen and witnessed. I'd have been in the car, riding conversion vans and flowing and hiding the mother and the car leading. And I'm like, Lord, if you get me out this car, I'll never get back in. And I ain't being funny. When I say my life, let me give you an example of what irritates me about my life. Now, I grew up, got my license by the time I was 16, so I was able to drive. I have driven. Most recently, I tell y'all, I can't even afford the auto insurance. I was given a quote of about $3,000 every 6 months or something like that for no fault. So the $6,000 a year, I can't afford it. And last time I got pulled over, they told me next time they catch me, they was taking me and my car to jail. So guess what? I've been taking public transportation, and most recently Uber, or calling somebody else. They can take the chance ever since. But that day, and it happened multiple times to me, where I would be riding with others, trying to hang out. Like I said, I never fit. I couldn't hang out. I couldn't be the hot girl. When I was riding with the real hot boys and smoking the marijuana high and driving fast, reckless, or hot. Not me. Not me. And one day we on the freeway and riding in the conversion van, and the driver flowing. They flowing. And I could just feel, what do you call it, the centripetal force, I think it's called, hitting the curb. And all I could say is, God, you get me out of this. I said, I'll never ride with another person. I said, if it's a day that I don't have a car, I'll walk. And you know what? God made me live to those words, to that prayer, to the point where when I say I can't even afford a car now and I gotta walk, I have to live up to them words. And people rolling up on me, what up, man? You need a ride? You want to ride? No, go ahead, bye. See you later. I'm walking. I'm limping down the road now. Nope. Nope. Don't want it. I prayed. And then I got in the car with another person. It happened. It seemed like the more the weed became more commonplace, this was a more common experience I was having. And the crazy thing is, none of these people ever had any automobile accidents before or after. Oh, one of them did. Never had any. See, the devil does sustain you in your mess. So, but I'm not of the devil. So the devil would kill me in that same scenario. And I know it. So everybody ride big, Nancy, be walking in on the public transportation in a cab or Ubering. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I am not doing it. And I can be a risk taker. Don't get me wrong. I want y'all to understand. I am not saying I'm a saint. I ain't never tried to be a saint. It's just certain boundaries that I have that I'm not willing to overstep, because there seems to be, I seem to have a connection with something that is not visible in this world. And I can't prove it to nobody except in the situations that unfolded for me to prove it to very particular people at specific time periods in their life to make a difference or be a testament to them that this ethereal realm exists. Other than that, I can't prove it. But I know dang on well that it's certain things that I can't do. Certain things that I can't do. And then again, it's certain things that I can't do. Or there have been times that I have been upheld in some really bad scenarios. And again, that would lead some of the social circles I was a part of to turn and look at me suspiciously because I'm finding favor. Finding favor, you know. People start thinking you snitching and doing all kind of stuff. That wasn't it. It was true divine favor. I had to open my mouth. You know, I'm spiritually woke, Nancy. I know you're speaking truth. You know, and only if you on the same vibration do you feel me on the things I'm talking about. And you say the matrix is a home for the unconscious. It's a home for the unconscious. It is not a fun place for somebody who is conscious. It's not. It really is not. It's disturbing. It's very disturbing. And the best I can make out of my life experiences is it seems to boil down to the soul. That's why I talk about the soul on my channel, because it's got to be deeper than the physical experience. I've never really talked about my experiences with the dead. I haven't talked about that. I don't go too much into that, even though I've shared some of my experiences with the dead. But something going on here. Something going on here. And it's scary to me. Again, it's so scary to me. What's the title of this live stream or this Aquarius Rant? I'm shook. I am shook. I'm shook. And it's like for a few summers ago, I was on the service drive of the freeway. Now this, I ain't being funny. I'll give y'all some examples and that's your stories, but this is every day, all day long for me. I just kind of been like just, I'm just watching. I can't do nothing but watch now because it's every day, all day long, 24 hours in a day, every day, all day long. Right now, my focus is here. So I'm not, unless I'm like shooting or something come my way, not engaging in the outside world, I'm here. For the most part, it's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, the kind of things I'm talking about. And ain't nobody seeing it. See, my point is, if anybody was seeing it, if a percentage of the population was seeing it, they were seeing the evils, they were seeing others possessed, they were seeing themselves possessed, if they were seeing all of these unnatural occurrences happening, wouldn't they stop and say, ooh, let me go pray. Something wrong with that. Let me go pray. Let me go into myself. Let me try to heal myself. Let me go to the priest. Let them anoint me with some oil, some water, some something. Ain't nobody doing that. I don't see it at all. Like I said, there have been a few people throughout my life that I end up encountering, and usually, I mean, it's some general people I've encountered, but mostly there are people that are in charity work. Again, those organizations or institutions get rid of them type of people, the very social contract, get rid of them kind. They going against the grain. This realm has turned and is turning into hell. The same type of hell they talked about, Dante Inferno and stuff, the different levels of hell. That seems to be what is occurring. And nobody can see it. I know I'm all over the place. I'm about to just talk about another subject matter, but I just thought about that movie called They Live. I just recently saw that movie. I've heard about it over and over again, about how people could not see the reality that was before them until they had a certain pair of glasses on. I couldn't find that new movie nowhere. About 2 months ago, I found it for the first time. And I think the movie was done in the 1980s or something. Found it, watched it. It's like that. They live. Cannot see. Literally cannot see. I'm trying to think of another movie where a person just doesn't I mean, it's hard to describe. It really is hard to describe when a person cannot see. I talked about going to hell and how I was in hell. I was not conscious that I was in hell. I was just having the experience, whatever that experience was. And that experience was gnawing, trying to pacify my pending wants, needs, urges, desires, but not having a physical vessel to do so with, but having it in my mind. I need it, I want it, I'm trying, just. And when the spirit woke me up in hell and told me to look and to witness, I told you I was gnawing on, we were all burnt figures, crisp figures with red flame lava embers like underneath the layer for, our silhouette cracks. You can see it burning. It was this desire, unresolved passions and desires still wanting to indulge. They were pending. And we couldn't satisfy them, but we didn't know we couldn't satisfy them. And so we were just gnawing, we were chewing on each other. And I told you I woke up with a real, super bad headache. I woke up with a headache because somebody was chewing on my head in my dream. They were chewing on my shoulder, my head, and I was chewing on somebody else's head. And it was millions basic, but I couldn't see very far. But I got the idea that it was millions of people just stacked up like puzzle pieces, interlocked into each other, chewing and gnawing. But we didn't even know we were chewing on each other. We didn't know it was a person around us. We didn't know. We were self-absorbed, totally alone. It was this. The sensation was infinite emptiness, infinite void, and it was black, and it was nothing. It was soulless. It's hard to define that. And it was this lack of consciousness, not being aware again that there were other people. There was people all around. We were right with other people, other beings, figures, silhouettes, right there. And we were literally gnawing on each other. No consciousness of it. No awareness that another person was near us and walked a longing of something. All we knew was what we wanted. And that was it. And the hopeless, unending inability to satisfy it or gain it or get it, period, to participate in it. And it was the emptiness of consciousness. And I stopped emptiness of consciousness because that's right there what I fear that people in this physical experience at this time are experiencing. When I say that they have no idea that they are evil, they have no consciousness and awareness of, what's the word again? Consequences. No forethought. Literally, or they have thought, and not to be aware that is something compelling them at all. That's some scary stuff. And that's what is happening. People commit crimes and act like they don't know what they done did. Be like, what are you talking about? I have no idea. None. No remorse. I done met so many people, no remorse. When you talk to them and the person talk regular like I am, there's no remorse in there. No empathy, no sympathy, no remorse. Wow. How can the populace not have any remorse? Or could you imagine anger or hatred? Have you ever hated somebody? To be consumed by that hatred. Could you imagine? I'm talking about taking it to the next level. Not what we thought hatred was or discontent has been. I'm talking about taking hatred and filling your whole insides up with it. And that being you. and you still being able to talk, go to work, interact, go out to the bars and laugh and joke with your peers, your siblings, and things like that. But your whole insides is hate. And it knows nothing else. Knows no love, no compassion, no healing, no forgiveness, no nothing. It's just hate. I don't even know how to explain it. That's what I'm seeing is going on. And it's going on in the younger generation. Now, what I can say is that, again, my outreach has become, I've realized my outreach has become very limited. My world is shrinking in. When I was younger, as I go back further and further in the years, my outreach was very, very broad. Even took me to the other side of the world, and different things like that. But now that I got older, my world has shrunk. And that shrinkage in my world leaves out a lot of different dynamics. So I don't interact or engage a lot with other cultures anymore. A few Caucasians every now and then, but not like I used to. So my testimony is becoming very limited as well. And so that's what I've been dealing with and talking to my higher self or God about. It was like, well, so why am I still here? Because again, my outreach has shrunk. It's shrunk. Therefore, my testimony is coming to an end or being limited. And if my world keeps shrinking, my testimony, it will be very minimal. Over the years, it's been very, very broad. Broad. I've had a lot of experiences. And I wonder, what does that mean? And I'm not even worried about death per se, or the end of my life, but how do I say this? Each individual that creates humanity at any given time, everybody contributes. I, as one of the many people that am creating humanity at this time, and for as long as I live, I am also a contributor. So now that I see my life or my outreach, because we're talking about my outreach into the world, my exposure is shrinking, I'm still contributing to humanity and what ends up manifesting into our reality. But my exposure is shrinking, therefore my consciousness and awareness is shrinking, but I'm still contributing. It almost seems to me, but I'm not quite sure, that my future life experiences are going to lead me to focus on something in particular. And that will be what I witness and or experience and able to testify and also contribute to. I'm not expressing. But I really don't even know how to talk about this subject matter, even though I've been running my mouth. I really don't. Because again, it's surreal, and it's very fleeting. Its importance, the importance of it is fleeting. Surreal. But yet, people are dying. Animals, children are suffering. Children are not, many children are not receiving the nourishment or the nurturing that they need. So we should expect that we're creating a whole different type of creature. Remember, my generation was a very particular type of creature. Generation before me was a particular type of creature. These current young adults are a particular type of creature. We're creating a whole nother type of creature with these young children and the abuse that they're facing. food. Oh God, it's unbelievable. But then again, I say then again because I've talked about the powers, possibly of extraterrestrial origin. Possibly, I don't know. But there, I have seen some evidence that it is possible that the true powers are extraterrestrial. That may very well be what reptilian and enslaved or encased in a physical form. I've seen that evidence, real evidence. But that their nature is what we are becoming. But for us, it's detrimental to our species. Their species is different from ours. So yeah, they may be able to survive under such a regimen, but humans cannot. We cannot. And humans seem to not be able to take anything serious. It's like, and I've heard people here on YouTube talk about how this is not real. This experience is not real. And the best I can make of that type of statement is it is aligning with when I say that this experience is surreal and the reality of it and the importance of it is fleeting. So they just sum it up and say it's not real. But in fact, this is a real experience, and it does have a impact, a long-term impact, probably an eternal impact, And one of the reasons I think we can't comprehend that possibly this physical worldly experience has an eternal impact upon this thing that we humans have labeled our soul is because we don't really have soul memories. How do you get in tune with your soul? What part of it is it? Is it the closest I can see is my mind and its consciousness, the consciousness and the feelings. That seems to be, to me, the closest I can get to the soul. Soul is like made of all these imprints. And when I say imprints, again, I'm talking about the feelings. That lingering feeling that you get, how you in love. See, we many times, and I'm guilty of this, we want to compartmentalize our feelings and emotions. To me, it seems that the soul is the sum of feelings. It's not separate. Love and hate is not separate. It's that feeling. It's like that. It's the thought of consciousness and awareness. Just to be aware is a part of the soul. To be enlightened or to be awakened to something is a part of the soul. To, again, to feel love. Could you imagine love and hate and discontent and content all pulsating like a plasma ball? And it's just interchangeably pulsating, again, with the consciousness and awareness, all simultaneously, and it going on forever. And based on the path or the course that humans are on, once out of these physical bodies, that plasma I'm talking about, as an example, because I don't know, is stuck more on the vibration of discontent and hurt and anger and different things like that. So yes, love is in there, but the wave or the frequency of love within that like plasma ball I'm talking about doesn't rise in, what do we call it in music? Like in music, it's the word is tone. Tone. It doesn't rise as high in tone as hatred and discontent and envy does to like overtake it or something like that. That's kind of what the soul seems like to me. And then at the end, all our souls come together to create one big plasma ball of energy playing its tune. That's it. So, and that's our infinite state, our energetic state, infinitely being stuck in that vibration. That's why I think this place, this experience, this realm is forced to resolve some issues here, that will, resolve the issue of hate being the predominant or more powerful or a more high pitched tone, and, try to cultivate love so that that tone will be enhanced when we're over in that particular type of form. That seems to be the case. But again, there seems to be some species that don't like us or going to feed off of us or something. I've heard that before, and they prefer the taste of negativity. It does seem like that. Because ain't no way either this experience right now ain't real. Maybe I'm about to have a psychological break. I remember when I went to college, one of the first classes I had was linguistics. And I still don't understand why this question was asked or posed by the professor at all to this day. But it says, how do you know you exist? I'm young, I'm sitting up there, how do I know I exist? Because I'm sitting here. So people, classmates raise their hand, because we sitting here, because we present, because we feel, we can pinch ourselves, And I'm sitting up there, because I'm here. He says, no. He says, what if actually you, what they call it, existential crisis, having an existential crisis. What if you're actually just a brain in a jar in some mad scientist lab, and that's all you are? And the scientist is, now this is what the professor posed in my early college days, and the professor is the one that is feeding you your thoughts through some type of, electrical signals being fed directly into your brain. That's all you are, as a brain. I never understood why he asked that question. And I just said it for a reason. I forgot. Because I'm just wondering, like, either this is not real, what I was going to say. It's not real. Back to that question that the professor asked all them years ago. Either this is not real, or it's real, and therefore what I've been talking about is real and of great importance, So if it's so important, why is humanity not conscious that it's so important? Do you know, or can you comprehend the level of magic that has a sorcery that has to be performed on humanity over the whole entirety of the existence of humanity in order for us to not be able to be aware of what is necessary for us to be aware? That's some deep stuff. I don't even know if I'm articulating that right, as usual. That's some deep stuff. And most likely, as usual, I just have to go on living my old mediocre life, making my little basic decisions of if I'm about what I'm going to do or participate in, but never ever really resolving anything at all. That's some deep stuff. And still watching people lie. And how to talk about liars. I get the video called Liar, Liars, Lie. I mean, people that hold positions, prominent positions in our world social constructs. Talking about uh, judges and law officials and doctors and lawyers lie and have no remorse, lie on people, causing people to lose their lives. Oh, I know you too about this. But this is reality. How can we so easily ignore it? How can a life even move forward? How can we even go to work the next day without these issues being resolved? And we know openly that people be lying to the detriment of somebody else. That's great. I ain't being funny. I'm gonna let it go because I'm just gonna go over and over because I'm just in disbelief. Bill Gates buying up all of this land. Yeah, we got millions of people over this whole globe, I'm sure, that are homeless. We got some places like in India and stuff where people, they say, stacked up on top of each other. This man owned all the farmland. Make this make sense. I'm just wondering. So I'm very, very, very confused. Who gave them the authority? How are we the people not demanding to be shown a deed that shows that the powers, whoever, selling this land to whomever, Bill Gates, whomever, Homer, who gave them the authority to do so? Why? Why we can't just, as humanity, come together and, we got these miniature homes now. All these homeless people and people that have that depend on a limited income, whether they're a veteran or disabled. Why are these people homeless? Why are people hungry? Why can't we build villages, these miniature villages? They don't have to be, grandioso like back in the, there's always been a mansion somewhere, a plantation somewhere, or a big house being built, or a condo being made. When it's people out here homeless, how do we just keep going on? I don't get it. But it's all love and light. Ignore it? I don't get it. I really don't get it. And I guess all of these things are really concerning me because, again, every day I'm hearing gunshots. People driving, running people over. Don't care. Won't brake. Have you ever drove and a person don't even brake, cut in front of you? As if, not even like, oh, I made a mistake. We human. We make mistakes. So you might say, oh, I made a mistake. Throw your hand up, blow the horn, honk, I'm sorry, or something. Nothing. The grocery store, I told you a few years ago, older gentleman, I was in there, got the store, and this is one of the nicer stores in the communities, within the communities, around me, got caught putting bad meat or old meat inside good meat on the outside. Who does that? People change, different stores, changing dates on food. Who does that? Waiting for something to get old and brown to lower the price. Who does that? Why not put the food in the price range in which the people can afford it? You would rather let the shit, get rotten, old, and outdated, try to sell it at a discount price once it's no good, rather than just across the board, make it make sense, have the food, items, products, and produce at a price that the people can afford. They can afford it because the majority of the population in certain demographic areas all work for minimum wage, so you about know how much they make. So that the food will be bought and used all up. You know, how make it make sense? Make this make sense. All of these different restaurants, from the McDonald's to the Thai Pats to the Burger Kings, I don't know, to the Outbacks, which I love. Different things. Just all of the restaurants of all different kinds: Thai, Chi, Greek, Chinese, Italian, whatever. That at the end of the day, most of them, I think by law, are required to dispose of all the food that's not eaten. But it's people starving all over the world. How can we and how have we? When I say we, I'm talking about humanity, the people that create humanity at any given time, been able to dismiss that kind of stuff? How have we been able to justify it? And then at this point in time, what is trending, was popular, is that we are ascending. They didn't address none of that stuff. I know I'd have said it me some buffets. I know I have. And I used to ask them, I said, well, why don't you take it to a homeless shelter, refrigerate it, freeze it, take it to the homeless shelter, feed it the next day to the people? I mean, how can we justify that? How can we justify people being hungry? How can we justify, I'm getting another thing I was thinking about. I saw something somewhere about a child that was, I'm just saying, injured at a child care facility. I don't remember where I saw it. Justify forcing people to be so desperate for work that they go take jobs that they know that they're not aligned with. It takes a very special. It even was a story that went around about a man that sexually violated a woman. I think the woman was even in a coma and had been in a coma for years, and she just gave birth to a baby. Take a very specific or particular type of people to work in different fields, and these people are also underpaid. How do we let this stuff keep going on? Why can't people stay home and take care of their own people and know that they're going to have adequate food, and have an outing? Another thing that the powers want to do is take the ability for the people to enjoy their lives. We're all something about how we're made. We're indulgent. I love food. I like to sip. I like to smoke cigarettes. We all addicted to something. We like to indulge. But the powers, I'm talking the mind, what's his name? What's his man's name? Does he say mind coitus? What's his name? Wayne Steiger, mind coitus. Say mind coitus. Mind coitus. They have thought on humanity that leads us to not be able to rationalize that something about our makeup, we're not complete. And it's funny, if we do not indulge in something, we indulge something. You need to have control. You need to do everything in moderation. But we need that vacation. We need companionship. Some of us need a little dope. Everybody different. I'm not promoting dope, but I'm saying we need certain things. We need to enjoy ourselves. We need that medium to, compel us to laugh or to enjoy ourselves, to feel free, to feel like, life it has its beauty and we are supposed to partake in it. A person that can't do that is bound to lose their mind, So what am I saying? I'm saying some of these people that work in some of these fields are underpaid and they can't quit or walk away because they can't even provide the basics for their family. If they walk away from a job that they know they don't resonate with, they can feel themselves breaking. These people don't just do these heinous crimes to children and elderly. They know it, they feel it, they sense it, they experience it, but can't walk away. Why? Because our system won't let them walk away. They don't have a right. They lose everything. They lose the ability again to provide the very basic needs. And hot dang, along with that, they ain't gonna be able to partake in any desires and vices. You know, that part of us that is also mandatory to be pacified and addressed. You know, and underpaid, underpaid. It was going around on Facebook a few months ago about a elderly white woman spitting on a black woman that was taking care of her. And then it was, I think, a remix of the video or something where they were both dancing together. I didn't see that, but my whole point is that right there, that, and looking at that particular scenario, well, that particular woman needed her own family to take care of her. No woman, no person should have ever been put in a situation to have to care for a person that hates them. Never. It was interesting to me. I got to look at what that means, saying that statement. It reminds me of what came up in the astrological energies, is that the people, the percentage of the population that have become proficient in some area or expert in some area, many of them will move to withdraw their care from the general populace because they don't resonate with them others, whoever the others are. They presume who the others are. And so, number one, that shows that people across the board is having this experience of like discontent from having to do works that they really don't want to do. See, what I'm trying to say is that we see when a person hurts a child or a senior in a facility. We see that it's broadcasted everywhere. But when a professional doesn't want to do the work, we don't get to see that. When patients die under a doctor's care, we just assume that they didn't make it. We don't suspect that's foul play. You see what I'm saying? So what my point of talking about that is, hey, how we continue to move forward without resolving these issues. It's always an issue about welfare and universal income and different things like that. And I say, okay, well, welfare, a reasonable welfare, universal income, can let people stay at home and take care of their ailing parents. They don't have to go to the stranger. If not, a family member not wanting to take care of them, at least, a person that's in that field because it resonates with them, they can get paid an adequate amount for taking care of another person's people. I'm saying all of these things, we're not resolving anything. That's my whole point. And year after year, decade after decade, things are getting worse and have gotten worse, and we still continue to ignore them. Today, present day, I'm sitting up here. I don't care what nobody say. Things have gotten worse. I don't know if they've gotten worse because the population is growing or due to moral, ethical decay, ethics decaying, being unethical, becoming increasingly unethical because none of the natural laws or rules are being adhered to. No, but it's getting worse. Anytime I can't have a moment without some insane stuff happening. Something wrong. I mean, and I guess my concern really is for the younger generation. Primarily the young adults of color. Why? Because my exposure to the outside world is shrinking. You know, I very rarely interact with any other race now. At this point in time in my life, I've come to realize that. I realized that the other day. I was like, oh, God. When I started thinking, I was like, wow, something's going on with my young people of color. You know? And it's oblivion. It seems like many of their consciousness are in oblivion. And some of the young adults that are more awake allow themselves to go to sleep in order to fit in, to be a part. I hear people from my generation talk about how they dumb themselves down in order to fit with their peers. I heard it's a man on here named Dr. Griff. I heard him say that, make that testimony. I heard this young guy named Young Pharaoh make that testimony. You know, I think that's common in the Black community. That's also what they share. I too, I was always an airhead. I don't know how I rock both sides of the at the same time. I don't even know. I don't know. Again, I always view myself as very average. So, whereas some others may have thought I was a little bit more intelligent. And, what I was saying. But the youths, those youths that exist now, when I say youths, I'm talking about those that are like under 35, basically. Even the 19-year-olds, if they are slightly awake and aware of their righteousness. Everybody, even the youths, don't have righteousness. They continence is rotten or evil, and they don't know they got to do spiritual warfare. They don't know it, and they're just giving over and being consumed by darkness. My computer just do what it want to do because it want to do it. I don't know. Where am I at? I'm spooling. Okay. You are correct. Earnest is everything to become conscious and spiritually awoken is a ring thing. And to know yourself is know God through Jesus. Like gaining experiences, frequencies. Yes, this Aquarius is tired of people tomfoolery. The best thing for me, seek some beautiful sun and quiet my mind. And that's what I've been having to do, trying to just quiet my mind and give myself some time. I like today, it was beautiful here. So I did take a nice walk just to calm my mind and try to just release my concerns. And then last night, and I always tell y'all this, I unplug everything, turn all the lights off, phone off, and I just be in my birthday suit, just me in my birthday suit. No bells and whistles. I don't know. And last night, all I remember was, it's like it's a routine for me to turn everything off, unplug everything, take off the bells and whistles, and just be in my birthday suit and just be with me. And so I laid in the bed last night, and I was like, it's perfect. It was so perfect. Could you imagine experiencing perfection if only for one moment? It was perfect. No bells, no whistles, no nothing. Just me. It was just me. And I was so cool, and I was off. And I had the hardest time going to sleep. I was out of there last night once I laid down. And we are all extensions of the Creator. All extensions of the Creator. That's what's crazy, because we are not together as people. Not together as people. Socially engineered not to be able to harmonize. Interesting. My mom always said everybody has their vices. There is a saying, don't trust anybody that doesn't have any vices. Right? I can't even imagine not having a vice. I just don't want to be consumed by it. Like these cigarettes is food and cigarettes is my worst vice. And not even food is I'm fat over time, but the cigarettes is the biggest vice I got. And I don't have a desire to let them go. And I was like, Lord, I hope I don't get the C word, but it is what it is. It is what it is. I enjoy it. It's relaxing to me. I mean, you see, most time when I do videos, I'm not smoking cigarettes. So, like if I go somewhere, a lot of people don't smoke that I know. I'm the smoker. It seems like in every scene, unless that weed is I say you smoke weed, they people swear that's totally different, totally different. And one time something came out, I was like, well, if you can't breathe, you can't breathe. It don't matter if you can't breathe because you smoke cigarettes or you smoke weed. If you can't breathe, you can't breathe. That. But most people that I know don't smoke cigarettes. And so I always have chosen to not smoke cigarettes. Not that I cannot. When I'm in their company or wherever we're going, I have always chosen not to. And people would ask me why I didn't smoke. That people don't. I mean, they don't ask over time. They never ask me no more. But I feel like you have to try to kind of control, partaking in or indulgence. You got to try to limit it. So I always carve out these times for myself to just limit and not go over. Like if I go out and I know I'm going out with people that don't smoke cigarettes, I won't even take cigarettes. Because what I do, I find myself, I go outside and smoke by myself. I want to, I will. Sometimes I take them with me, but I won't even smoke them. Like I select this time when I'm on YouTube, most times making a video. And when I want to, I do. But most times I don't. And that helps. That's kind of my break or fast or a way for me to pace myself with my vice, in relationship to my vice. Something like that. Another thing, I'm a big pop drinker. And so, child, the struggle is real. Pepsi in a second. The struggle is real. The devil is really coming in so many forms. You say, Nancy, you are a very intelligent woman. Facts. Well, thank you very much, James. I just feel like I'm pretty. Again, thank you, but I feel like I'm pretty average because George looking cute in your white beater. Oh, thank you. Hey. I came, oh Lord, my basement backed up the other day and a plumber man came and y'all should have seen me. I had my hair, I was raggedy, I had my hair rag on, my granny dress, and I'm cussing and fussing about my basement. And the plumber, he was young, on his own little business. And he just a flirt. And I'm like, if you don't get down there and fix my basement, I'm going to kick you down in the water. He said, you aggressive. Like that kind of woman. I was like, men are sick. Y'all sick. George, Jane, y'all all something wrong with y'all. King, y'all all something wrong with y'all. He up here trying to see through my granny dress. Now, this is my granny dress now. Like, oh, you look cute. I'm like, okay. Get on down there and fix that basement. Now, God damn it. But thank you all for the compliments. You are so living in a body, having a metaphysical human experience. And I don't feel like we should waste time in this during this experience. I think we have the right and I think it's a need. It's another requirement for us to, again, indulge in something or partake in a vice. Just ain't supposed to get caught up in it, washed away under the wave of it. Try not to anyway. And it's so sad when that does happen. It does. And I would be okay with being overtaken by the wave of, indulging in a vice, if it wasn't so detrimental, it's like you have to um, give a whole lot for that. You have to give so much. Like people that have been on drugs for long periods of time, many people didn't take care of themselves because it wasn't their primary focus, and lost teeth, weight, hair, came out with all type of diseases and ailments, and committed different types of crimes against themselves and those, and their families and friendship circles and even strangers. It was too much. The price was too high. That's what I'm saying. The price is too high. And it was broad. It's broad. Oh my God, dang. But another thing that I always heard from people that have been addicted on different substances, just like I say about the cigarettes, I'm not trying to stop smoking cigarettes. Only thing that make me want to stop smoking cigarettes is that I can't breathe. But that's what I got. I'm giving up. I'm giving up my capacity, my lung capacity, and whatever else may come. But in reality, don't want to give up. Don't want to give up that vice. Enjoy the vice. Matter of fact, so love the vice. That's what I say. Something wrong with this RAM. Something is wrong with this here RAM. And I have been, what can I say? I've been pure as the driven snow before in my life. And that purification where I wasn't for years not eating meat, vegetarian, no cigarettes, no nothing, no sex, no nothing, just nothing. And what can I say about that time period? I think, well, see, it's hard for me to talk about that time because I've always been in communion with ethereal beings, but it's like when I was pure, undefiled, untouched, holy, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost. I like to label it. There was nothing but that. But what? The ethereal realm. That's all it was. It was, I guess the best way I can explain it, I existed in this physical realm, but I've seeing in the spirit, it's like I walked a light body. You hear people talk about a light body. I done talked about a light body or crystalline body. It's like that. So imagine me looking just like I look. Something like this. Looking just like I look. In my ultimate best, my ultimate best model. Looking like a white crystalline being in a pure white robe. That's in my mind is how I looked. But to people in the physical, look like you see me here. When I wasn't indulging, I was pure, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost, clean, not indulging in anything. Vegetarian, only drank water. No smoking, no cigarettes, no cussing, no nothing, no exposure to nothing on TV, didn't watch TV, nothing. Got up every morning, just saying, you can't get to be up in the mountains to do it. Got up every morning, when the sun came up, I was out there meditating. Nighttime, meditating, stargazing, whatever, however you want to label it. This me is. And that's how I saw myself. So I saw myself like that in conjunction to the world. Again, different experiences, different scenarios, different um, even the scenarios were limited because I didn't really go anywhere. It was really nothing. But I mean, it was all. So I don't know how to explain it because again, I always talk to the ethereal. I always sense, conceive, perceive. It was not at my command. It was just offered to me when needed in my life over the course of my life. That's the best way I can explain it. So I'm still living my life. Uh, but I mean, not going out, not hanging out, doing none of that. So I'm saying I'm alive. I'm alive. I'm alive. I did a lot of praying. Um, I did a lot of praying. I ain't being funny. Oh, during that period, it wasn't praying. It was more like, what they call it? You know how you see the Buddhist monks just sit and meditate? It was like that. That was it. There was nothing. Get up, eat a bunch of lettuce. But it's like I wasn't in this world. It seemed like it wasn't in this world, but it's been so long ago. I only have a few recollections of it. Like, and I'm like, I did that. No, I did that. I wasn't trying to be religious or sanctified. I wasn't trying. It's just my life walked me there. It's like it was a requirement for that phase of my life. That was like the next step. And I didn't try to take the step. Life guided me there. It didn't just like force me to sit down. It didn't just force me to stop eating meat and become a vegetarian. It didn't do that. It didn't force me to fast. It didn't do that. It was just this inner knowing. It just like wake up. It's like, okay, well, it was like I'm playing it. Oh, I'm a become a vegan or I'm a fast today. Nope. It's like wake up. We're in the moment. It's time to fast. Okay, that's what you do. It's not how long do you fast. It's fact we're fasting. So we're because I was never alone. And as far as spirit, I was never alone. We're fasting. Well, it's time. It's just like this. Well, it's time to partake. And let's say spinach. Okay, that's it. It didn't take a lot. Okay. I don't know how to explain it. It was just, and I know people like look at me. I'm wild. I'm big mouth, wild black woman, big mouth, fat. But, believe that I've gone through such phases is like I know just go over a lot of people's head. But just to be in that zone, as I say, it's these different states of consciousness that exist, and it seems to me that a lot of people are lost in this void of darkness. And that's why I started talking about the experience of hell and describe my hell experience. And it's that void of consciousness or not being aware of something. If you're not aware of it, if it doesn't exist to you, then you're not aware of it. You can't perceive it. You're not comprehending it. You're not taking it into consideration. And that seems to be what's taking place. Something has been extracted from young people of color, younger generation, 35 and under. So, like, not all of them, but many of them has been extracted. And it's that part of the openness to be exposed to other states of consciousness or being open to receive reproof. And so you can self-correct. It's void, it's gone. And then there are those younger people that I have, bumped into that do have that. But they won't acknowledge it. Like when I tell you I'll call it over in the spirit, clean, sanctified, filled. I acknowledged it. They won't acknowledge it. They won't walk with the spirit. Why? Because walking with the spirit ain't cool. Like, Walking with the spirit is not cool. And they too are, many of them are finding themselves in some life changing life experiences, that they are going to have to live the whole scenario out, again, cause and effect, because they wouldn't walk with spirit. So walk with spirit give you the whispers in your ear, tell you where to go, when to duck, when to be in, what to do, where to go, what to say, not to say. It gives all those little fine details to help a person get through, to refine themselves, and again, self-correct, grow, evolve. And they are not, again, walking with spirit. And the reason they not walking with spirit is because what? Again, it's not cool. It won't, walking with spirit won't permit them for too long to engage in or interact or have exchanges with those that are lost in the dark. It won't, because when you walk with spirit, it causes you to see depth. When I say depth, I'm going to start seeing in the spirit. So when they say a young person that is walking with spirit and allowing spirit to minister to them, whatever spirit is ministering to them to get them to evolve, as an example, and they got a partner, a friend, a girlfriend, a guy friend, or whatever that's dark, lost, but you don't know because everybody just talking and laughing or doing what they doing, communicating, having exchanges, whatever they do, just look normal people. The young person that is if they allow themselves to walk with spirit, they gonna be able to see that they partner darkness. They're gonna be able to see the spirits that dwell within their partner, even though it's not obvious, on the outskirts, they won't, and in the spirit, walking with spirit gonna tell them, hey, you got to be very careful. Or say, example, hey, youngster that's walking with me, spirit, I need you to brace yourself. I need you to prepare. An example, this is just a hypothetical case scenario. This spot that you're in right here is about to be robbed. It's going to be a shootout. I need you. Oh, what movie? I seen this. I don't even know the movie. I need you to move over here in this corner right here and sit down. Yada. Take your coat over there and sit down. Just like that, spiritual talk. And a young person, okay, because it's pretty weird when you hear these full pledge instructions in such a manner. Young person that walks with spirit said, let me go over here and sit down and drink that pump. And as soon as they mind forget what the spirit had told them, all of a sudden the scene, they're elevated and getting set off. And that person that walks with spirit survived. Or even if they find themselves wounded, they're able to stay calm. Spirit tell them, hey, what to do to get through the scenario, situation, circumstance, etc., etc. These are the people you find that are very calm, rational as they move through a scenario, as the scenario unfolds. That kind of thing. They walk in with spirit. Spirit is informing them. But if they don't walk with a spirit, you don't know where to be. You don't know how to duck, dodge, move. You don't know how to, most times, know how to cope with an unfolding scenario, situation, or circumstance. And that's what I'm seeing is happening with the younger people. And unfortunately, that's the salt of the earth, as they say. The next generation, salt of the earth, is being improperly influenced. And why? Because the racial of quote unquote sinners, unrighteous, those lost in the void, unconscious, is growing. We didn't heal. We didn't deal with, when I say we, I'm talking about all the generations thus far. We didn't deal with the ills and evils of the world. That's Pluto and Scorpio generation came in here and they seen some hideous crimes. Never dealt with fully, society or world overall. It never dealt with that stuff from Hitler. Never, dealt with it. It's back again. So we know it wasn't fully dealt with. So, anywho, I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news. Love and light. Love and light. We are descended into hell. But I'll tell y'all this, we ascended to heaven. We're going to be all happy and floating and chewing on some bubble gum and stuff. So I ain't gonna bring up nothing negative no more. I'm going to do what I should have did when I was younger. And I'm about to be one of the popular people again. I'm about to be what they call them here, an influencer. Oh, I may talk about the astrology because I don't want to make a whole video. I was looking at the astrological alignments, and it was talking about, this was also for June of this year. Of course, the energies, the astrological energies don't come and dissipate in a day. They go out and they set out to do what they have been commanded to do by the Creator. And it's saying that somewhere, I think it was in June of this year, around that time, it said something about, and I'm going to give you an example. Like this platform is YouTube. It's all this, it's always some controversy surrounding YouTube and the content creators and the people that, the very businesses that a person can monetize with or monetize the channel with. This is just an example of the energies. So it seems like the astrological energies that are coming up suggest that, once again, a platform like YouTube will be revising their platform. And they're looking at who are the influencers and those that are actually serving the agenda of YouTube will be, I think it's saying, promoted. And those people that are not powerful influencers will be phased out or something like that. So I might be going somewhere. I don't know how extreme this will be, but that's just an example. That same type of scenario is going to play out in many aspects of life. It just depends on. Wait, I think I put this paper over here. And I'm bringing that up because, again, humanity is being socially engineered through different means to be desensitized to our responsibility to stabilize this earthly experience we're having. Again, it's surreal and it seems so fleeting. We don't understand the importance of it, and so I'm all serious. And so the way that it is achieved and has been achieved has been through different means. We talked about it, how media is one, entertainment is another, as far as the music industry, cinema, all of the different mediums to cast these spells upon the world's population. And so now taking a look at YouTube as just one example of many, is looking at the influencers, and the influencers would be used as the magicians or the magic trick in order to lead the people or the masses. The more people that can be influenced to line up with the power's agenda, means that their agenda is progressing forward in a timely manner and effectively and seamlessly. But those that go against the agenda or not higher. How can I say this? Influencers are influencers because they are promoted by the powers. That seems to be the uh, basis of true influencers. The powers hand select influencers to influence, to lead the masses in a way that aligns with the power's agenda, whatever the agenda is. And so the agenda seems to be to mislead the masses, to miseducate the masses, and it's to mislead, miseducate, and it also is enforcing it's about the perception. Enforcing the distortion in our perception of our reality. I hope that makes sense. They're redirecting. Yep. It's redirecting. Thank you. So that's going on. So all of this, I'll be on this bad boy for hours. I do a 2 or 3 hour video and turn around and do another 2 or 3 hour video. Wounded, necessary inventory, and evaluation. What am I talking about? I'm looking at the different astrological messages that I have interpreted. And another thing that I'm seeing is what's occurring this month is, as far as an individual person, each of us have some type of wound. Our wounds may very well be different. And the wound that a person has, partying like this. Okay, let me get off here. You're a draw? You draw? Okay, what you drawing? That's what I want to do. I want to do some artwork. I guess the paint store will be open. It's just so expensive. And then I've gotten to this place in my life. I don't even want the artwork I did years ago. But I don't want to destroy it. I don't want to destroy it. That stuff costs, and it was really, really nice, and it was part of my spiritual process. But I'm tired of housing. I'm tired of seeing it on my wall. I do want to do more artwork. I want to do more painting. I want to paint with some oils. I love oils. But I gotta house them. I'll probably be happy with them the first 10, 15 years. And then I'll probably get bored and go through the same process of, what do I do? Do I get rid of them? Do I throw them away? But it was, art was and has been a very powerful meditation method. Real great. I painted some of the things that I heard too. I would hear messages while I was painting, drawing. I talked about one of the drawings I did when I was hearing. What was that? They party and I'm getting thrown off. I'm about to get up out of here. So anyway, this month is a month of what seems to be for the individual to evaluate themselves, or assessment of self. This is assessment, evaluation, and assessment period, in order for us to adjust. And what are we evaluating? It seems like we're being led, like that makes sense, to understand the wounds that we have as a unique individual, and those wounds come from our experiences, and through understanding how one has been wounded. And I'm talking about the psyche, the soul, the spirit, and different things like that. you come to understand possibly kind of what you need to help you heal. You know, drawing. You say promote your art on your channel. I may. Some of it might be a little. Well, some of it has appeared in some of my videos. I did a video called "Does Your Kitty Cat Stink?" One of my artworks, well, but kind of adult content was in the background. When I did the one "Sell Your Soul," can you sell your soul to the devil? In the back was a painting of the of a biblical scripture with the sun becoming black as sackcloth and the moon was red as blood, and the quaking of the earth and the tsunami coming up, and in the whole scene with the astrological scene, which you couldn't see real good in the background in there. So some of my work has been featured throughout, my videos through the years. I'm tired. I really am tired of them now. I'm just tired. It's time for me to downsize. I know in the next few years I'll be moving probably into a senior citizens home, something smaller, because I can't even do all this cleaning and stuff no more. So that's what's up. So back to just kind of discovering, come to understand what you need to begin your healing process or to move your healing process along. You talked about art. Some people may need therapy. Somebody might need love. Somebody may need, it could be somebody that's dealt with maybe poverty or the constant fear of poverty. This is the kind of wounding I'm talking about. And it's that within the soul, in the psyche, that's been impacted. Been impacted if you dealt with, again, poverty and not knowing, or hunger, or like I talk about Pluto and Scorpio kids, not knowing if you're going to have something to eat or if your parents are going to take it from you, or, just whatever may have caused the wounding inside of you, and coming to understand what you need to heal it, to help it heal. That's the time period we're in, coming to understand that. And so that those things are more on a spiritual level. Yeah, of course, it plays out in physical too, like I'm making this video and stuff like that. But I don't think most times we're very conscious of it in our real time life if we're, haven't been told to look at it. Here, I know that's what's on the schedule for this time period, and I'm up here doing it, talking about the wounds and needing to be healed and ignoring them and trying to figure out how to facilitate healing. And so the astrological energies also talk about, and I've heard them talk about how the dynamics or the details to each of our lives, whatever they consist of, and all the scenarios that play out, and the characters that are present, that is to say the people that we know that we'll be interacting with, are all perfect. They're perfect. It's the perfect setup to facilitate the healing, whatever it may be. Whatever it may be. I try to be a little dramatic when I talk about the perfect setup, because we think, oh, it's so beautiful, it's love and light, it's perfect, it's going to be love and happiness. That might not be what you need to heal you. So, you just got to be aware that all possibilities, what did it say? All possibilities. Out of all the possibilities that exist, out of the void, all possibilities, all probabilities, your process of evaluation and the healing process, and just the realization of what may compel you to begin to heal, is all tailor-made and specific to your needs. So that's some good stuff. Not isn't it? I'm gonna just maybe do this one with a tarot reading or something. Well. I guess I still didn't say that piece of paper. Well, maybe after this Aquarius rant, maybe at least once I can make comprehensible video. Until next time, y'all. Bye.